He left me 1, 2, 3 times, and then all of a sudden he want to come back home.
Do you find it easy to get women to finance your lifestyle?
No, it's not. Not easy at all.
But you do it.
Yeah, I do it.
Yeah,
A family member introduced Charlize and Brian 22 years ago, and they discovered they shared a nasty habit of drugs and alcohol. The couple eventually got sober, but after 20 years of marriage, they agree the thrill is gone.
Now, why do you leave?
There was other women.
I am done. Mr. Darby is not only a trip, he's a journey.
Did you leave to go to an NA meeting on Valentine's Day and not come back for 2 weeks?
20 years of marriage comes to an end.
I go to work 3 jobs, and I come home, either he's there playing games still, or he's not there at all, because he's running the street and he's going to the club.
Today, on Divorce Court.
Come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toler presiding.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Charlize Darby and Brian Darby. Mr. and Mrs. Darby, you have been married for 20 years. You do not, however, want to be married anymore. You don't have any children together, although you do have children from previous relationships. You have a financial matter you would like me to resolve. However, before I get to that, I'm going to start with you, Mrs. Darby. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your marriage and why you want to end a 20-year marriage here today?
Well, Your Honor, 20 years with Brian Darby has been a real journey.
Okay.
He's a hermit. He's on the laptop constantly. The laptop gets more play than me. You know, and if it wasn't the laptop, it was the video games. And then when football season came, I needed cleats and a helmet.
Your Honor.
Just to be with my husband.
Mr. Darby, she's saying you got the E disease, that you're all sucked in to electronics and you're failing to live your real life. What is your response to that allegation?
She's very clingy, Your Honor. Very clingy. Whenever we're in the house together, that's all she want to do is be stuck up under me. I don't need to be up under her all day, every day. Now, I need time to myself.
When you mean stuck, aren't you home all day?
All day.
No.
All day.
No, I'm not.
What do you do during the day?
I work now.
Oh, you work now?
Yes, ma'am.
But back then you didn't have a job, Brian. You weren't working.
Didn't have to have a job at the time.
You
You was
okay,
working.
Mr. Darby, what kind of quality time, or how much quality time do you think is enough to spend with your wife after she comes home from work?
Yeah, just a little bit.
What's your number? Give me some minutes.
Give her a couple hours.
You're never giving me a couple hours.
And in those couple of hours, what do you consider quality time?
Well, she likes those girly movies, so I had to sit there and enjoy the movies, so that's plenty of time.
Your Honor,
She's
he
very
never
sensitive.
sits and watches girly movies with me.
She's
if
very
I'm watching
sensitive.
a girly
She
movie,
cries on the
Mr.
drop of
Darby
a dime.
will leave.
Now, Mrs. Darby, do you call quality time sitting around watching girly movies with
Your
him?
Honor, I like to sit around with Brian because we both like movies and watching movies together, which we don't really do a lot of.
We don't need to watch them women flicks where all she do is cry through movies.
Well,
I had to sit there and pet her all the time. And I don't need to be with that all day.
Because the woman got left by the man, she's cheating on her with the sister and all.
All day.
But I tell you what.
Marathons, all day.
All day long.
Girly
They got
movies.
They got a station. There's nothing but that.
That's what. Even if I do watch the
stuff.
girly movies, Your Honor, it's still not enough for Brian Darby because I can lay beside him in the bed naked watching a girly movie and he gets sick and tired of it and start playing a laptop and then we don't even consider that I'm there with my clothes off and don't you want to touch this?
When it's time to touch it, that's when I touch it. I touch it when it's time to touch it. I enjoy my sexual time.
Hang on.
I enjoy my sexual time with her. When it's time to touch it, I touch it.
When it's time to touch it,
I touch it.
Now I'm on a schedule. And then who puts me on a schedule?
You're on a sex schedule?
He said when it's time. He never gave me a calendar.
Mr. Darby, how often is it time?
Well, at one point, it was time all day, every day. And then it got to a point where we do it once a week.
And now?
Now it's whenever it happens.
Never.
So you're not going to regulate it, just whenever it goes, it goes.
I mean, but look, Your Honor, there's times where I always told her, when you're ready, you ain't got to wait for me, you go for whatever you know.
But
you ain't got to wait for me to
If it's a football game, Your Honor, that does not happen.
Okay,
he would be like, wait a minute, you see the game is on.
You ain't supposed to interrupt that.
Right. Now,
see, that's why I call him Mr. Darby.
Miss Darby, man's got a point. He watching football. Let the man watch some football.
Exactly.
You know, you can do. You can.
But Your Honor, sometimes football never goes away.
Okay.
Because if it's not on television, it's on the laptop all day long. And when he's not doing that, okay, my mom's giving away a car. I get the car for Brian. Now he's not home being a hermit. He out in the street being a womanizer. Okay. He don't come home.
Yeah.
He gone.
Mr. Darby, do you get dressed up, get in the car that your wife gave you, and
go
go
to
out
the
and look for
clubs,
other
meet
women? Mrs. Darby, don't interrupt me. Mr. Darby?
Yes, I did.
And were you doing the wrong thing?
Yeah, I did.
And how long did you run around doing the wrong thing?
Till now.
I did the wrong thing for quite a while.
Still?
But, Your Honor, it was a thing where the attention that I was getting then, I didn't get when I was growing up. And me and Charlize, we didn't do the right thing all the time. We used to be stuck in a world out there doing drugs and all that kind of stuff. But we both got our stuff together. Now I get the attention.
Oh, so you cleaned up, got it together now, you look good enough, got the clothes.
And I cleaned up and got me together.
So the other women, Did you two stay together while you guys got cleaned up from your addictions?
No, we wasn't together and doing none of it. But then once we came back together, she wanted to pick up where we left off from.
Did you ever move back in with her?
Sure I did. Quite a few times. Because I done left 3 or 4 times since we've been back together.
Now, why do you leave?
There was other women.
Oh.
Because she had worked my nerve to the point where I couldn't stay there anymore.
How does she work your nerve? Is it this?
Haven't you seen it already? That's what it is.
When divorce court continues, did Brian cool things off with Charlize for another woman?
Can I tell you about the story he told me when he came back? This was clear off The Young and the Restless. I went to the retreat, and the female that I was seeing before me and you got back together was there. But when I saw her at the retreat, I figured I had to give it a try again and put me on the back burner.
Are you considering getting married but aren't quite sure your intended is the right one for you? I'll give you my opinion. Call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com or become a fan at facebook.com/divorcecourt.
Divorce Court returns with the case of Brian Darby, who charges his wife Charlize is a controlling nag. But how far does Brian go to get out from under her regime?
I changed my number because she was calling my girlfriend's number and telling her that I was going to leave her to come back to her.
Then here comes Valentine's Day. Now, this is after we done regrouped, and we regrouped before Christmas. So we had a couple of months in it being together all the time. We close, we tight. He's spending the night like he stay there.
Right.
So then Valentine's Day comes,
hang on.
and he says, well, he's in NAD. So he says, I'm going to a retreat.
NAD?
He's into NA real deep.
Oh, okay, yes. Into NA real deep. Got it.
So whenever there's a retreat or whatever, he always wants to go. When he leaves me a flower and some lingerie, say Beyonce something that didn't even fit. He looked like a size 2, and I'm in a 16. But anyway, he left that. And then he went and some candy and some flowers, and he goes away to the retreat. Well, Mr. Darby didn't see him for 2 weeks.
Okay, what's going on?
Did you leave to go to an NA meeting on Valentine's Day and not come back for 2 weeks?
I went away for a convention on a weekend. And when I came back, I did come back to shore, or I talked to her at least.
No, you didn't.
Well, I don't remember that part.
But can I tell you about the story? Can I tell you about the story he told me when he came back?
What story did he tell you when he came back?
This was clear off The Young and the Restless. He says, babe, but I couldn't call you because I didn't know how to talk to you. I went to the retreat, and the female that I was seeing before me and you got back together was there.
Yes, she was.
I hadn't seen her since me and you had got back together, and I didn't know when she was coming back or not. But when I saw her at the retreat, I figured I had to give it a try again and put me on the back burner.
Okay.
Mr. Darby, did you say that?
In other words, yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes,
But it was the truth.
It was true.
So at least you were being truthful.
It was true.
Was it a little cold, though, to say, hey, I read...
Charlize, she's always wanted the truth, so I always try to give her the truth.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Nuh-uh.
Whether...
He said in the story he didn't know how to tell me, so he just didn't call and say nothing for 2 whole weeks.
But I still told you.
I had to pull it out of you.
Either way, it came out.
Mrs. Darby, I'm getting a scene of people moving in and out and back and forth.
Constantly.
And you say the last time he moved out, he changed his cell number so you couldn't get a hold of him. Tell me about that.
I had purchased Brian Darby several cell phones because he always liking to upgrade because he want to look good all the time. Okay. You know, he want to be Mr. Cute Brian Darby. So,
Your Honor,
and
I am cute.
Yeah, because he always, and then when I buy these cell phones, and he disappears all the time, because, you know, now he's driving and going to clubs. He ain't got time to answer the phone. I go to work 3 jobs. And I come home, either he's there playing games still, because we still going through that, or he's not there at all, because he running the street and he going to the clubs. Now he don't want me to go clubs with him no more. He don't want me to go down the street with him more, because I'm too touchy-feely.
Mr. Darby, why don't you tell me your vision of what she's talking about?
Okay, well, Charlize is controlling. I changed my number because she was calling my girlfriend's number, calling my phone and calling my girlfriend's phone to let her, or to call her and telling her that I was going to leave her to come back to her, or I was going to leave my husband alone, all that kind of stuff. That's why I changed my number.
That didn't have nothing to do with her number.
I already had a cell phone. She volunteered to buy a cell phone to upgrade for me. Sure, I'm going to take that.
You asked for it.
She got that, but and we both paid the bill. She didn't pay the bill all the time. We both paid the bill.
When divorce court continues, Judge Lynn offers a warning for women everywhere.
Ladies, did you hear that? Did you hear it? Listen to it. Receive it.
Yeah.
Feel it. This is what some guys do.
If you would like your case heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com and follow us on Twitter @DivorceCourt. Divorce court returns with the case of Charlize Darby, who claims she's putting an end to her husband using her for money. But Brian has a backup plan.
Well, Your Honor, I'm good at what I do. And when I have did it, I have did it very well, evidently. So, I get things.
When is it going to be enough?
It is enough.
He's told you in no uncertain terms he don't want to be with you anymore. And you need to hear that.
And I hear it, Your Honor. I hear it.
Now, Mr. Darby, let me ask you something. You seem like, a guy that's had a rough past. You had a rough past. Here you are. You've kind of, sort of gotten back with your wife, and you're asking her to give you things, and she's giving you things, and you're taking them. You know she wants you back, but you're taking the stuff she gives you, and you're walking off with other women. Don't you feel that's kind of hurtful and a little degrading, humiliating, and wrong?
Yeah. I got a conscience.
But it doesn't stop you.
No, it don't stop me.
Mr. Darby, let me ask you this. Do you find it easy to get women to finance your lifestyle? Is that easy for you?
No, it's not. Not easy at all.
But you do it.
Yeah, I do it.
Yes,
But
right, Mr. Darby.
Hang on.
it's not easy.
So it's difficult to get women to give you money, or is it just a lot of work because you got to say you like them when you really don't, or is it a lot of attention you have to pay?
Sometimes that came into play like that. Just to be.
Well, how do you work a woman? How do you get her to give you money?
Well, Your Honor, I'm good at what I do. When she talk about the sex thing, me and her not having it, well, I have had it with other people, other women. And when I have did it, I have did it very well, evidently. So I get things.
Really?
I don't ask them for anything, but they give it to me. They offer it. When my car broke down, I didn't ask that woman for her car. She offered to give me her car, and she called the bus to work.
Now, let me ask you. Is it just the sex, or is it a sex and a maybe? Like, you have sex with them.
Well, you got to give the maybe.
And you say, you got
to give the maybe.
Here it is. You might be able to keep it.
Yeah.
So they give you money in hopes of reeling you in.
You got to give the maybe.
Ladies, did you hear that? Did you hear it? Listen to it. Receive it.
Yeah.
Feel it. This is what some guys do. Don't be on that kind of hook. A little bit of good sex and you go crazy. Don't let that happen. No matter how good the sex is, if his mind ain't right, when his feet hit the floor, show him the door.
Okay.
And that's what I did, Your Honor. That's what I did. This last time, I put him out.
When divorce court continues, is this a trick question?
Mr. Darby, you know what they call people who sex for money?
Yeah.
Divorce court returns with the case of Charlize and Brian Darby, who, after 20 years of marriage, have decided they've come to the end of their road as husband and wife.
You still love him, don't you?
Yes,
I love him, but I'm done.
I hope so.
I am done. I am done. Mr. Darby is not only a trip, he's a journey. I've been on it, and I'm off it. I am off the journey. I have made it around the world 2, 3, 4, 5 times with Mr. Darby, and I'm at my end. My feet is planted. Thank you, Jesus. Mr. Darby changed his cell phone number because that's the best thing he ever did for me. He gave me time to get off
of him. That's wonderful. That's all. Now, Mrs. Darby, why don't you tell me why you believe I should award you $369 from Mr. Darby?
For a cell phone, and mainly because when he left this last time, I wasn't able to get back up in his clutches because he changed the number on the phone, and I purchased them, and I paid 3 phone bills. I know at least that, if not more. But I'm just asking for 3, and the cell phone. And then I'm also asking for a U-Haul because he left me 1, 2, 3 times, and then all of a sudden he want to come back home. I pay for the U-Haul to bring him back. He don't last a year, and he gone again. To the same woman.
And I'm not quite sure what you're telling me about the cell phones. Are you currently paying his cell phone bill?
Not anymore.
No.
But you bought him the phone.
Right.
And you paid the bill for months.
3 years ago, Your Honor.
Okay.
3 years ago.
3 years ago. Mr. Darby, is that your response? Yeah.
Yeah, 3 years ago. She brought the cell phone. She brought the cell phone because she wanted to upgrade it. But she offered to give me the U-Haul so I can come back to her.
Your Honor, the man left with some dresses, some speakers. He had chairs. He had stereo equipment with stereo cabinets. This man has enough clothes to fill up 3 bedrooms.
I get it. I understand what happened. I understand exactly what happened. I'm gonna say something to you, and I'm gonna say something to you. Mr. Darby, you know what they call people who sex for money?
Yeah. I've been called that before.
Yeah. Don't be one. You know what I mean? Don't be one. Mrs. Darby, You've learned your lesson. It was
Yes,
a hard,
I have.
long lesson, and it was a hard, long road. He's never going to do right by you. Don't ever give him another dime. Don't do anything. You did all this stuff for him because you wanted to keep him, just like all the other women are doing for him. I can't give it back because you were putting in an investment on him. Maybe you could get him back. You were trying to get a little bit of money here. Any money, anybody that you can get to come over for $369 is worth exactly that. There will be no recovery in this matter. It is so ordered.
All rise. Parties may leave the courtroom.
Charlize says she has no intention of going back to Brian and is waiting for their divorce to be finalized. She has taken to heart Judge Lynn's advice to stay away from men like Brian. Brian says he had a new girlfriend before coming to court and is working on being a better man for her. He and Charlize are cordial when they speak, but their conversations are short and infrequent, which suits them both.